everyone! So, I originally had a turtleneck on for this video, and I figured I was not fooling anyone, at least not myself. It's like 70 degrees in my house right now. But alas, fall is here, and this is going to be my first full makeup look. Fall is a transitionary season, so I like to work with textures that really complement that. Going for more of a satin makeup look, something a touch more polished, we just have a little bit more drama going on into the fall months. And this is what I came up with. I'm giving you all natural light demos, of course, of all of the products that I used for this look. Merit is also very kindly sponsoring a portion of the video. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned almost every makeup item that I'm using in this video before on my channel. But that wasn't an accident because I think with new fall launches especially, I do like to highlight some kind of like signature items, just really consistent kind of dependable products. So let's go ahead and jump right in. And by the way, the signature bag on Merit's website, you get it for free with your first purchase. It's this adorable tie like corduroy makeup bag. Honestly, kind of like the perfect fall makeup bag too. Let's open her up and let's get into skin. I have found in the past, at least for me, I have to be careful in the fall to very slowly start to transition my skin through the season. Some days are a little bit hotter, some days are cold. You know, it's just one of those times of the year where I need my base products to be very consistent. And a satin makeup look, I just find always looks good no matter what. But the first thing I do, usually, you guys, I use this product like no matter what foundation I'm pretty much using, but it's the Merit Great Skin. I just talked about this in my primer declutter. Clearly, I did not declutter this. They actually stocked me up since I had already gone through my other one. This is the absolute best primer on the market to give your skin an immediate kind of glow, especially if it's feeling sallow, especially if it's tired. Again, if your skin in general is just not doing well with a season change, it's one of those time saver products that your skin is going to immediately look better having applied it. Those time saving, skin saving kind of products are very important in my routine. See, it's a biphase serum. It really gives you that immediate plump glow look to your skin. As someone with dry skin, this kind of gets me back to like normal, if that makes sense. It's good at supporting a healthy skin barrier over time. It's just a perfect primer for me. I really enjoy how fluid it is because it immediately sinks into the skin. It's not really greasy. Then I go in with Merit's The Minimalist, which is their complexion stick. One of my favorite stick foundations on the market because of the texture and the finish it gives your skin. It just has this really beautifying satin finish that looks blurred but doesn't read really heavy on the skin, which is important to me. I think a lot of cream foundations can go heavy pretty fast, but you can build this up and it also never gets chalky on the skin. It doesn't get greasy. And something I particularly like about it is you don't have to perfectly match your foundation and your concealer. It's a foundation, but also you can spot conceal with this as well, which, I mean, I don't know if you've been there. I definitely have. When I have foundation all over my face, there's a spot that I want to conceal, and then I go in with a concealer and it's more noticeable because the shade match isn't right. This is just a very easy product, just a really good medium coverage product. I think it's a great combo in my opinion. Now, for the under eyes, this is a product that is still pretty new. I know I'm going with like a lot of longtime favorites here, but this is definitely a product that just like swept me off my feet, and I don't get that way about concealers often. This is the Tower 28 new serum concealer. What's really lovely about it is how thin it is under the eyes without creasing very readily. I just have found in the past that some really thin concealers can kind of dry out under my eyes as I continue to wear them. They can exaggerate the hollowness that I have under my eyes. This one does not do that and blends really quickly, which for me is super important. I don't like to fight with my makeup. I like for the makeup to be working with me formula-wise. As far as the cheeks go, I wanted to do a little bit of blush draping, and also I did a little bit of that kind of effect with the lip color and the eyes. We'll get into all of that, but for me, fall is a really nice time to play with a lot of warm colors, but then mix in these kind of berry tones that we're more used to in the winter. Just kind of slowly transitioning looks in that direction, I think is really pretty. That being said, I used the Flush Balm from Merit, and this is the shade Fox. Definitely a warmer shade for sure. But on its own, it's a very nice, warm, nude kind of shade. The formula itself is very balmy, obviously. It's one of those kind of balm formulas that really melts down into the skin and gives you a little bit of a radiance, but it's not overly radiant, which I just think the balance of it is really nice. Fox is definitely my favorite color, but Mood, which this is the original packaging. I took a little bit of Mood and added that right into the middle of the cheeks. And that's when you get a little bit more of that, you know, out in the fall air kind of look, because this has more berry tones to it. I highly recommend kind of playing up a warm with a berry. I think warmer shades mixed with a touch of a cool shade. I think it's really fun and it kind of creates this multi-dimensional look. Super pretty. Really, really enjoy that combo. And just for a little bit of sculpt to my skin, I do like to reach for more powder bronzers during the fall. So I went with the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzer, and this is the shade Light. It's a good shade for the fall and the winter. I could get away with light medium in the summer, but honestly, I still go with light a lot of the times. It's a very thin formula. It's gonna knock down any shine just a little bit, but more than anything, it's just gonna offer a little bit more shape to the skin, a touch of a warmth. Especially when I'm going for a little bit of a toastier eye, just something with more payoff and a little bit more color. I like to have that balance with, you know, sculpting and defining the rest of the face, just so everything kind of makes sense together. Getting into the eyes, I used the new Solo Shadows from Merit. I have two shades here. I have Vachetta and Mid-Century. These are really great for an all-over matte eye. The look that I have in particular, I really like because it warms up my green eyes, like it really makes them pop. So that's what I really like to do in the fall. I like to play up my eye color. But as a formula itself, these are also really, really long lasting. You guys often ask me about eye bases, like what eye primers I use. I don't really use eye primers. I use products like this that help the longevity of everything else that I put on top. I did just use these today, but just so you know, that's how I see myself using these long term. I've been using these into the crease to help with creasing overall, and they're a really great product for that. These are essentially cream to powder shadows. What I did today was I used Vachetta all over the eye, and that's just kind of as the main base. You could use this like for work, just a one and done eyeshadow, and just get a really pretty effect. Very matte, very polished looking. You can certainly use a brush with these. I did try and show you how to use them with a brush as well as with fingers. I think it's best to use fingers with this formula because it is a cream to powder. I like the warmth of my finger while I'm blending this. Using Vachetta all over the eye gives me this really pretty wash of color, and then I use Mid-Century. It has warmth, but it's not overly warm. It's a very pretty defining shade. I use that onto the outer corners of the eye and on a little bit onto the lid as well. My number one tip with like this shade in particular, what I really like doing with it, is I like to kind of tuck it up under into my lash line, and it just like really pops my green eyes. It's such a subtle thing that just makes all the difference. Really great shades. And again, I love an all matte look for the fall. I think these are great as like one and done shades as well. So you can literally like stick your finger, swipe it on the lid, kind of tap out any edges. But I do recommend doing one eye at a time because once these set down, they don't budge. I used a little bit of eyeliner just for a touch more definition. I used the gel liner from ColourPop in Sunnyvale. I think tight lining with an all matte look really brings things together. It just adds that extra bit of polish, and that's kind of what we're going for with this look, right? Like, we're not going for contrived, just a touch more polish, and I think a tight line really does that. For mascara, I used the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. It's just again, we're talking about like go-to products here. I want to give you guys a tip for the lower lashes. If you're ever worried about smudging, you could go with a waterproof mascara for sure, but you could also go with a tubing mascara as well. Clean Lash from Merit. There's obviously other ones out there, but I did want to throw out that tip for you all. But finally, we have to talk about the lips. Folks that have been on my channel for a long time know that the Merit Signature lips are by far my favorite Merit product, period. Like, I would love new shade. I would take a new shade any day of the week. I love them. They have the perfect balanced formula for me. They're not really glossy. They're not too sheer. You can really build them up. It's like a blotted lip that isn't too matte or drying. Just the perfect middle of the road signature lip kind of formula. And again, what Merit does really well with like the balms, the eyeshadows, the lips, the colors are so beautifully zeroed in, which is why I think I have every single signature lip color that they offer. Just a beautiful satin finish, very lightweight on the lips. But here's what I did, and I would love for you all to try this too. I took a bit of Les Avenues, which is this really pretty kind of berry brown shade, and I applied this kind of on the outside of my lips. It's such a perfect fall shade. It's one of my favorites for sure. But then in the middle of the lips, I went in with Tiger. And Tiger is this beautiful kind of brick red shade. And when you add those two together, you're just left with a very unique effect. I love adding a little bit of a red to the middle of the lips. I think it's just very youthful. Adding those two together, yeah, it's definitely a lip product that I go back to consistently, definitely on a weekly basis. You know, if you try one Merit product, that's always my go-to to recommend. But I wanted to talk about one last product from Merit for a specific reason. So, Merit's Tinted Lip Oil. I have to be honest here, it's not my go-to lip formula. Specifically the shade Falcon, if you want to add a bit of an edge to any look, any lip look, this immediately, can see, adds just this really cool brown effect that I love for the fall. Definitely a pretty one. If you prefer a thinner formula, I think you'll really like this. If you prefer a thicker formula, I think there's probably better ones out there for you. For me, it's about the shade. Just the shade adds this incredible edge to any look that I have, and that's how I often use this. And that, my friends, is my first fall makeup look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed all of like the little tips and tricks, how I choose products going into the fall for fall makeup looks. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment down below. I'm happy to help. Thanks to Merit again for sponsoring a portion of the video, and I'll see you all in my next one.